So, my guests for the paper review this morning are Mathew Hulbert, the chair of the LGBT Centre in Leicester. Morning, Mathew.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm good, but you're a poorly little soul, aren't you?
I am a little bit under the weather, I'm afraid.
We will be careful and gentle with you, and we will
you.
make it okay, don't you worry. And I'm delighted to say we've got a new paper reviewer, Kerry Hearsey, who is a life coach and children's author. Hello to you.
Good morning, how are you, Jo?
I'm all right, ticking along.
Yeah, this bright and early time.
It is, trying not to let the Christmas craziness get to me.
We were just saying, weren't we? Jo's always bright and pretty.
I know, exactly.
Every time you see her.
So not true, but, bless. Thank you for saying that. You should see me after 9. It's a whole other matter. Listen, there's been some very big things happening this week, haven't there?
Crazy.
Yes. What a week indeed. And you both want to sort of talk about the election and the politicians, maybe from different points of view. Mathew, let's start with you, because I know you've obviously got a bit of an allegiance to a certain party.
I should say this is totally separate to my role at the LGBT Centre,
of course
which
it is.
is entirely non-partisan, and we work with a cross-party on that. So separate from that, I am, for my sins, a long Liberal Democrat. It wasn't our night.
Wasn't a great night, was it?
Wasn't a great night, and I've reflected a little bit before today on so the Observer's covering this, and their take is key Lib Dems told party not to back December election, and as I said to someone outside, those of us who aren't key Lib Dems also told them not to back a December election. They went with it. They, the polls were looking pretty good. It looked as if we might have a good night and gain a lot of seats. We actually went back 1 seat on the 2017 election, and I think that's for 2 reasons. I think, first of all, the revoke policy, that if we get a majority government, which, by the way, was pretty unlikely to happen, will revoke Article 50. For those of us that are an absolute ardent, diehard Remainers, that might have been fantastic. For most of the country, they didn't like that one little bit, and we were told that on the doorsteps. And also, and I think this is a bit of a sad reason, but I think it's true, the country didn't take to Jo Swinson, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. She was perfectly professional, very fluent, very able.
There was a very bizarre rumour at one point, wasn't there, going around on social media that she threw stones at a squirrel. Did you hear that one?
No, I didn't hear that one. I normally see most of these.
Such a random one that was like, and I was what's going on?
Fake news we might get to in a bit. But,
I'm sure she never did throw any stones at a squirrel.
But the country did not take to her. I'm afraid that the polls seem to show that the more people saw her, the more they disliked her.
I was saying that before. I was really surprised, actually. When she came in, I thought it was going to be, a bigger impact for Lib Dems, and that actually she would maybe go to some of the female voters. But yeah, she just seemed to turn everything off.
So we've got another leadership election starting in January. And by the way, my prediction is that it'll be Layla Moran, the MP for Oxford Western
There you
Abingdon.
go. You heard it there first.
Place your bets.
You want to talk a bit more generally, don't you, Kerry, about politicians?
Yeah, well, actually, there was a really interesting piece in the Sunday Mirror today, Nigel Nelson's column, talking about actually fining politicians for their porkies and whether even to go to jail for these porkies. So
really?
One of the things that's come through from Compassion in Politics and Welsh National Leader Adam Price is to punish political porkies.
I heard him when they were doing all the leaders' interviews. I heard him talk about this as a policy, and it's a really interesting one. I'm not really sure how.
I don't know how they would go about it, but it sounds like
kind
of a good idea. Well, after the bus debacle.
Well, indeed, of 2016.
Because if it was anywhere else and there was that sort of marketing and advertising that was totally false in a company directive or anything else, somebody would seriously have to pay for that.
But do you want to hear a controversial opinion?
Go on, controversial opinion.
My controversial opinion is that we, the public, get the politicians that we deserve sometimes. And I'll tell you what I mean. I'll tell you what I mean by that. And we're seeing it in America with Trump. Is that sometimes we're prepared. Some lies we think, well, we don't like that. So yeah, we say it's outrageous. How dare these politicians lie? Some lies we turn a blind eye to. Some lies we think, oh well, actually, I'd quite like to vote for that person. So never mind that. Never mind that. We get the politicians we deserve.
But
sometimes.
it's hard for people a lot of the time to distinguish between a lie and a bit of spin. I mean, politics is always, the manifestos as well. Their manifesto promises. They're not actually going to be able to do a lot of that stuff a lot of the time. It's the kind of the dream thing. So finding what is an actual lie and what's a bit of spin is going to be difficult.
But also it's that spin on words as well. There was that big debate over the 50,000 more nurses,
Yes.
which, just the use of the word more over the word new. It was 30,000 new, but actually there's 50,000 more because they're retaining 20,000. I mean, that in itself, like you just said, is the flip on words, is a flip on.
But even worse than that, you could argue that there was some defence they could make of that claim round and about. But the 40 new hospitals, when it was demonstrably not 40 new hospitals, it was something like 6 new hospitals, and then other hospitals like ours in Leicester that are going to be revamped and all the rest of it, but you can't really claim that's a new hospital. And so, it does begin to make you despair. But also, we were just talking about it before. I mean, why did folks not choose Labour this time? And I think it's because they were promising the world, and people did not believe that you could have all this stuff for free and nobody pay for it. The electorate, you don't have to know a lot about politics, you don't have to be obsessed with it like I am, to have a general understanding and a general feel that can't quite be right. Where is this going to come from?
Well, listen, we've been talking about it non-stop pretty much for the last few days. So I want to draw a little line under it this morning. Can I do that? I haven't got a pen. I'll do it as just
You could dance a line under it.
I could dance. This is where I want to go.
There you go.
Because,
That was done like a radio pro.
This is a vote that I can talk about.
Yay!
The Strictly final last night, how amazing was it?
Wasn't it great?
Kelvin's just incredible.
He is, isn't he?
He's just an absolute natural. And considering he's someone that was brought in, he wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. He's just absolutely stormed it.
And he must just be a natural dancer. I've never really believed in that, someone is a natural dancer. But then if you've not had any training and you can just do that, amazing.
Well, the hips don't lie.
They don't.
And
they tell a wonderful story.
His hips certainly don't lie. I'm a big fan of his hips, if I can just put it like that.
I had a word with Jack. I told him he needs to watch and study Kelvin if he wants to rock the dance floor.
There you go.
That's what he's got to do.
Yeah.
Jack, my producer, he's not convinced. We'll get him sambering before the end of the day. But it was brilliant, the standard all around, and Karim I thought was amazing.
Absolutely
Very
amazing.
good.
But I thought this whole season this year it seemed to, it always does go up a level, but I think this year it's gone up again.
And I was so pleased for Anton to get to the final.
Yeah.
I mean, bless him, he once had to drag round Dan Widdicombe.
Literally did drag her around the floor.
So he got to the final. Was never very likely to win it, but I was just pleased for him that he got there. Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's been going on, 17 years now, 17 series, and you keep thinking, at some point, surely people will get a bit bored with it. But no. It's just,
But
what is
can
it?
I ask one thing?
Go on.
What is the definition of a celebrity, right? Because some of
Mathew.
them... I
here we go.
know, but some of them I've never heard of.
But does it matter because you get to know them?
Well, you do, but
Like,
I mean...
last year, old Joe Sugg,
Oh, well, yes.
I never heard of him at all. And by the end of it, he's like, I wanted to adopt him. He was lovely.
But also, I think that actually opens it
Wanted
up
to.
to different. It also opens it up to different generations as well, because a lot of the kids out there nowadays, it's all YouTube stars and things like that. So it just brings that audience in. I think it just works for everybody.
And the really interesting thing is that unlike the X Factor, which is having a bit of a crisis, it's just not being watched like it was, and I think it's driving Simon Cowell crazy. Strictly hasn't seemed to have that dip. It seems to reinvent itself in a way that people keep watching every year.
Well, listen, I think we need some music. We could have a dance break, couldn't we?
Yes.
We should do that. We've got Sam Smith, I Feel Love. What do you reckon to this?
Yeah, what are we going with?
What are we going
Waltz,
with?
Rumba?
No.
Foxtrot?
Listen to it. It's disco, isn't it?
I'm joking.
Let's disco.
Love Sam Smith.
Oh, we were having so much fun talking about Sam Smith. We forgot it was finishing there. We were just talking about X Factor before, and producer Jax told me that one episode of the X Factor, the band, was beaten in the ratings. Was it last week by a Channel 5 documentary about Aldi?
Yes.
People love shopping.
Oh, Aldi, not the car. I thought it was the car. The supermarket.
Supermarket.
Oh, the supermarket. There's me.
Can I just say to Jack, I understood what you meant, Jack.
Oh,
I
sorry,
didn't-
Jack. I thought it was about the car.
I thought it was a supermarket.
Oh, well, never
I'm
mind.
with
Listen, what can we squeeze in before? I'm going to let you decide, Kerry. What would you like to talk about?
Well, I've got a couple to be fair.
I'm going to get you down to one.
Yeah,
Choose
I'm going
one.
to go with I'm going to go with Prince Louis.
Oh, go on then.
First word, Mary Berry.
Now, do we believe that?
I don't believe it.
They must talk about Mary Berry a lot for that to be his first word.
Well, or watch a lot of Bake Off, who knows?
Yeah, but she's not even in it anymore.
No, well, this is true, or some cooking
That's
programme.
quite a cultured first word, isn't it,
is.
Mary Berry?
It
Well, I
is.
was saying, though, I was trying to, like, imagine saying that in, like, quite a posh voice in case it was another word.
Yes.
But Mary
Berry.
Berry. I'm not, it's not a very good posh voice, is it?
It's not at
Mary
all.
Berry.
It's
I
not
mean, can
at
I
all.
just ask, though, I don't mean to be a grump, but why is it news?
Well, exactly.
Oh,
but
come
to be fair,
on.
it is in a few. Well, I think it's because of this. If it is actually.
If he'd said dog,
if
it wouldn't have been that
no,
interesting.
it's not interesting.
No.
The fact that it's supposed to be around a
Anyway.
British legend
Mary
that
Berry.
is Mary Berry.
I'd have loved that.
I know.
Is she on at Christmas?
Oh, she's
Well,
always
she
on
must
at
be.
Christmas.
Maybe it's
She's
to
always
promote
on.
a book or something.
Can I just say, I've got to just tell you that my highlight is going to be the Christmas Day Gavin and Stacey.
Can't
I
wait.
can't wait.
It's going to be great, isn't it?
Can't wait.
What about you, Kerry? You're looking like,
I love
do you
that.
know what? My niece and nephew absolutely love it. But no, I'm not a big James Corden fan.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
so
big
I'm
in
gonna
America?
Be
But it's more
controversial.
than
He is,
it's
he's
more than
huge.
just him, though.
Well,
isn't
this
it?
is true. This is true.
Ruth Jones is fab.
Yes, this is. Well, apparently, I loved all the backstory about how they were trying to bring all of this together, and people weren't picking up the phone because it was James calling from America, apparently, and they thought it was just some weird American number. And
But I
you know?
love Pamela.
Oh yeah, Pamela.
Me and you are going to fall out today, Michael. I love that.
Well, we know what Matthew's doing on his Christmas day. Men taking more selfies than women.
Well, do we believe this?
Well, I don't know, really.
I mean, in the Mirror, it's got a photo of a rather attractive gentleman taking his own photo. So maybe that's the
Kerry's
answer.
leering out. Is it? Yeah, yeah.
not bad looking.
And it says young men take an average of 10 selfies a week. 2 more than women, a study has found. And Stoke is the selfie capital.
Is it?
Stoke. Well, that surprises me,
Who
actually.
didn't
I
know
thought it
that?
would, with the Essex days, the Towie days, I would have thought it would have been
With some
Yeah.
pottery, maybe.
How many
Maybe.
selfies have you taken this week, Kerry?
Zero.
0. Matthew, how many?
Well, you see, sadly, I'm not a young man anymore, am I?
Doesn't matter. How many selfies have you taken
You know, I
this
turned
week?
40 in February. Oh, just don't even talk about it.
Don't worry,
I'm
don't
going to have
worry.
an existential crisis
It's
about
fine.
that.
I did it this year, and it's okay.
Is it okay? Are you sure? 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm a bit.
I'm over it now. It's fine.
I must admit, I don't actually like selfies. If I mean, Jo will know, and I'm sure we'll do it after today. That I'll say, "Oh, can we have a quick photo?" But I'd like a posed photo.
See, I hate photos in general
them
of
as
me.
well.
I love the since you discover all those ridiculous filter things that
Yeah.
you can put on and you look amazing.
You do. You look like you've had surgery for free.
I know, it's fantastic. I wish I could just like slap one of them
I
on
know.
my face. Just live like
Just
that.
walk round with
yeah,
it on
walk
one
round.
side.
I would even
This
live.
is your best side.
I would even live with cat and bunny ears for the rest of my life if my face looked like that.
Amazing.
Let's just check with Jack, producer. Jack, is he there? No, he's not there. Oh, I wanted to know how many selfies he's taken this week.
Oh, I
Have
bet
you
he's
taken
taken
any?
a
young,
few.
isn't he?
Have you taken any this week?
I've not. I've taken literally none. I'm actually not a fan of selfies.
Tell you what, instead of that, we're going to take a selfie photo. We'll do
are
that.
we?
Yeah,
Gotta
we're going to
do
have
it.
to. We're going to have to.
For the old Twitter and the old
Oh,
Facebook.
yeah, for all those classics.
Yeah.
Right, well, can we squeeze one more in? Tell you what, you can just give me a one-word comment on this. Greta Thunberg, Time Person of the Year.
Absolutely incredible.
Really?
What a legend. Yeah, I think she gets so much grief.
Why not, Jo?
No, I'm with you, but she's a very divisive character, isn't she?
But I think that's what makes her so great, is that actually there was a lot of people saying, it's nothing new, that scientists have said it for years. They have said it for years, but this girl said it for probably a year. And look at the actual kind of the media that she's got behind it.
She's
It's
inspired a
incredible.
whole generation.
Absolutely.
She has. So good on Greta.
Yeah.
Good on Greta. Well done, girl.
Listen, Kerry, Matthew, it's been absolutely lovely. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
you
you.
go and get better, Matthew.
Thank you.
And Kerry, have a fab Sunday.
And you, lovely.